I'm talking about you and me. I'm talking about love. I bet you find it's on everybody's mind. What makes us one of a kind? I'm talking about love. It doesn't matter where you travel, you are sure.
And then, see, I love the way that works out. Let's go a little bit. Hello.
Hello.
Morning or afternoon or whatever time it is.
It's sad because when I look at it, I feel like it's me that's out of focus. Like my eyes are out of focus.
Oh.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
This is an interesting day. This is Relationship Rehab, and I'm Lee.
And I'm Paul.
And
we're coupled up.
And we're coupled up. And
we're moving very slow today. I don't know why. Oh well.
Okay. Hey there, Miss Cougar Mama. We're here on Mingle Media TV, the only place to be if you're doing a show on the internet. What do we have to say today? We're moving slow. I think that the computer's moving slow because we are moving slow.
Oh yeah. I slept.
We have we've had an interesting week. We have an interesting show. Let's see. Our 3-year-old started school this week for the first time, and
that's big.
That was a big
deal. That's how come it's also so quiet here right now.
Yeah, and that was, an emotional thing for us. Still dealing with emotions. Woke up early and took him to school today, and came home to find that our daughter, is feeling sick today. Mm-hmm. And Jeannie, if you actually read today's post, on coupledom.com, you'll get an idea of what kind of a human being Jeannie is. She is special in many ways. Mm-hmm. And so Jeannie has this thing that if she feels sick, she doesn't really talk about it. She gets very overwhelmed by it, and then just looks like she just leaks from her face all day long.
Okay. So
it's really not even
at a year or two ago, however long ago, she had like the flu, and she spent the whole day crying.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it's this moaning and the tears and this overwhelmed feeling.
And we're like, do you need to throw up? Yeah. Go ahead. No.
It was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was that. Yeah. So I brought her to like the urgent care.
Because we're thinking, she also...
It's been the whole day.
Yeah, it was the whole day. I kept asking her if she was having pain, and she could never answer. So I'm like, let's err on the side of,
Right, maybe it's not the flu.
Yeah.
Maybe she has appendicitis.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Who knew what it was? So I get her over to urgent care, and 3 hours of waiting there in the whole bed.
And paying the money.
Oh yeah, paying the money. She finally they're beginning to check her out, and she throws up in the little buckety thing, and then she does oh, I feel better. It's like, great. And then the nurse is like, well, it's like, oh, no. Give her shots, give her right to get whatever, because,
we get to abuse her now because she abused us for a day. But, talk about development today, she said she didn't feel well, which is different. Mm-hmm. Usually she doesn't voice those things. And then, because we know her, and she's been doing this for 17 years, I'm like, okay, are you feeling nauseous? Are you about to cry? And, hello, puppies. What? Bobby, stop. Okay, that's Peacock. So,
feeling nauseous.
So she was, I asked her if she was feeling nauseous. She said yes, and her eyes were already watering, and then she starts crying, and I go, okay, great. This is what you're going to do. You're going to go get your little bucket, you're going to go to the bathroom, you're going to vomit. Mm-hmm. And if you can't, just, use your finger. And she did, which was like, I don't know, what a major breakthrough.
Yeah.
But this actually piggybacks on what we talked about last week, and I knew it couldn't be food because none of us got sick. It's been over 12 hours since she's eaten. So I said, are you feeling nervous? because she started school on Monday. And then, she just kind of like, bobbed her head a little bit. And, this is another sign, another symptom of anxiety. And the thing is that we mistake a lot of our ailments for anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
No, we mistake anxiety for a lot of ailments. We immediately go to, oh, I have a headache. Oh, I must be getting sick.
Mm-hmm.
Headaches are usually anxiety. Headaches are stress-based.
Yeah.
Normally. That is the average headache is stress-based. It's, nausea in general is usually stress-based. Very, very infrequently do we have the stomach flu and or food poisoning. But we all call it that because we refuse to...
Easier.
Yeah, refuse to give it an emotional etiology, okay? Because I couldn't think of another word. I'll just use the big word.
Okay.
So I thought that was, I was like, oh, interesting, So we talked a little bit, and she was actually able to express that she was afraid of leaving. Now, granted, she has a year before she graduates from high school and leaves, but this is major breakthrough. So this is a big breakthrough week. Ricky in school, Jeannie having her breakthroughs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very nice week.
Next week they'll all be in school. So for our show next week, I'll be naked.
Well, I'm basically committed to being naked the whole time. They're gone.
Right.
That's a whole lot of naked.
That's a lot of naked.
A whole lot of naked. And you've also committed to other things
Yes,
while
I
they're gone
have.
too.
Right. So I have committed to that also. But yes. Naked is where we start out.
Naked is a start. You see, and that is what brings us to our topic of the day.
And what is our topic of the day?
A relationship makeover. One of the things,
Nudity is a relationship
yeah, well,
makeover?
yeah, it's different for us.
Okay.
See?
Okay.
It's different
I
for
get
us.
it.
But, I find it really interesting when people, when I've had clients before, and they're relating their stories, and when they say things like, and then all of a sudden we broke up and I didn't know what was going on. I can't say that I'm incredulous. I can't say that, oh, I just can't believe that you didn't know what was going on. But, well, pretty much.
Yeah,
I don't believe it.
Right.
It's like, how don't you know there's a problem?
Mm-hmm.
How don't you know that you feel tension? And that, this is like, okay, everything's piggybacking off last week. We talked about anxiety last week, anxiety and tension and nerves and all that. When you're in a relationship with someone, I'm not, and this doesn't have to be your spouse. When you're in a relationship with anybody, when there's tension and when there isn't tension.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, then there's obviously...
You disconnect and you need to handle.
Serious disconnect. I mean, really serious disconnect.
Because tension is that's one of the easier, like,
yeah, like
pick up.
I feel tense. It's such a physical.
I'm a little pissy.
Yeah, but it's such a physical manifestation of that emotion.
Right.
That you're tense because you could feel the muscles in your neck just like grip. Or you could feel like the strain on your lower back,
right?
Or you could feel the pain in your forehead, or just a knot in your stomach. Tell me that you don't feel those things,
right? And that's even one that, when we talk about women being more in tune with emotions and that kind of stuff,
and guys can feel that,
right?
Pretty
Tension
damn easy.
is allowed for guys,
Yeah.
So
it's like, are you stressed? Yeah, I'm stressed. So. Yeah, you should know that if there's problems,
we'll say tensions.
Yeah,
because
in a
you might not know
relationship.
what the problem is,
right?
But you
and it might not even really be a problem. It could just be you,
right?
But it's you holding back.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain amount of surrender that it takes to be in a relationship. And, I like to think that you should be fully surrendered.
Right.
That there shouldn't be anything held back. But since we're not just talking about spouses or, lovers or, romantic relationship.
Mhm.
You know, and we could be talking about anyone. I'm not going to say that you have to be completely surrendered to people.
Okay. I don't know. See, I would have to say that
Well,
up
it depends on
to
the
whatever the
person.
level of safety is.
Okay, yeah, okay. But I'm just saying
Right.
that depends on the
Right,
relationship.
yeah. Yes, that would depend on the relationship.
Okay, Mr. Surrender to everybody, right?
That's me.
Yeah. That's you. Okay. If only you knew, viewing public.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I don't even know where the hell I was going with this. See, you can't interrupt me, dude. Just
A
let me.
level of surrender.
Yeah, no, it's not helping.
No. That there's some openness that you need to have in a relationship.
Okay. So then, thank you. So then, when you hold back something, you develop your own tension. Now, this is also like when you are completely surrendered to your partner, you could feel when they hold back. It's not just an intuitive feeling. This is actually, I mean, you're connected.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because next week we're going to be talking about we're writing about attachment on a couple of them. Why, of course, because kids are going to school. You know, This is where separation anxiety comes in
For everybody.
For everybody. I mean, come on. I know for me, the first few days of this week, I was very anxious. You know, the idea of separating from my youngest. You know, there was a lot of, wondering, okay, what's he thinking of me? You know, has he now decided mommy's a bitch and I don't want to ever come back? And, these are all possibilities. I doubt it, because he adores me.
Is it true?
So who's coming?
Right.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
So we talk about attachment, but when you are connected, and, that's what attachment is. When you are connected to somebody, like me, to my youngest, Ricky. I know if he's holding something back. I know if he's upset because we are connected.
Right.
And so every time we would pick him up, it was the checking in. Are you okay? How was your day? How are you feeling? There was a certain feeling out of that. And him asking questions like, well, okay, where have you been? What have you been doing? Why weren't you here? Or my favorite thing this morning, he asked me, so you're going to come back in a minute, right? And I said, yeah, a minute, 6 hours, something like that.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
And
you don't know how to tell time yet anyhow.
Exactly. So you did one of those, oh, okay. So then, I was able to, I didn't lie, obviously.
Right.
And he didn't cry today. I mean, he was fine Monday. He was okay Tuesday. By Wednesday, he was in full-on meltdowns. So, but that's okay, and that's part of attachment.
Yeah.
But the reason why I'm saying this is that, when you're connected to somebody, and when you're attached, whether it be your child or your spouse or, a friend or family member, when there's something impeding the attachment. When there's something kind of messing up that connection. Mm-hmm. So, this is where the relationship makeover begins.
Right. Yeah.
Big time.
Is the opening up part.
Yeah. I mean...
The forging the connection.
It's not just forging the connection. It's being able to maintain the connection clear.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the problems I think most marriages have. And the reason why marriages fall apart is that we ignore the signs of problems. And I'll say the P word because that's really what they are.
Mm-hmm.
You start by ignoring the tensions. Then you ignore the problems that come from the tensions. Then you ignore the behaviors that are so damaging to the relationship that stem from the problems that came from the tension.
Okay.
Okay? Because it doesn't all just, it doesn't start out with like, oh, he cheated on me.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't. I mean, you don't go from 0 to 1,000 in 2 seconds.
Right.
You can't say things like, "Well, everything was perfect, and then he cheated on me."
Yeah.
Or she cheated on me. Or everything was perfect, and she just stopped loving me.
Yeah.
You
It
know,
doesn't happen that way.
it doesn't happen that way. However, you hear that shit all the time.
Right.
You know, and of course, you know, we know that. You know, most people, you know, get that. Wait a second, dude. You know, it wasn't all perfect, was it? And to that person in denial, it's like, oh yes, of course it was.
Yeah.
Because they've been in denial so long. They were in denial when they started having tension in their connection. They were in denial when problems started arising, maybe little fights here and there. And they were in denial when they noticed that their spouse maybe wasn't calling them anymore during the day, or was coming home later, or, you know, wasn't coming home at all. You know, these are, I mean, that's how it progresses.
Right.
So before it gets that way, you know, you need to, you know, call in the experts, or decide that you are going to have a relationship makeover. And I'm not talking, when I say makeover, I'm not talking plastic surgery. I'm not talking fixing the outside so it looks pretty. I'm talking about like the extreme home makeover kind of shit.
Yeah.
Tear down and rebuild.
Yeah.
Because you have faulty foundations, and you can't build anything on a faulty foundation. Okay?
Yeah. Always start new.
No, always start new.
Yeah.
In everything that you do. I mean, now granted, you know, actually I was reading something about somebody who was writing a book, and she had one tacked on the book. And halfway through the book, she realized she was wrong. Because it was a nonfiction book. She realized she was wrong, and that she couldn't even continue writing the way she was because it was wrong.
Yeah.
That she scrapped it and started brand new.
Ah, how painful.
And, but,
yeah,
how incredible at the same time. Because that's the second draft, let's say, was probably really kick-ass. It is probably really kick-ass.
Right.
Because she's passionate about it.
Yeah, especially at that point.
Yeah. I forgot what it, I think it's like, We Have Issues.
Okay.
Oh, We Have Issues. I think the author's name is Judith Warner. I don't know. I'm going to look now. Why? Because it actually is something that...
Can I look right now?
Yeah, you know why I'm going to look right now? Because it doesn't fit necessarily with what we're talking about, but it does fit with what we talk about on relationship rehab. What we're going to be talking about when we bring up topics that are on our other website, parentdom.com. I realize that I'm kind of scattered, but you know what? Hey.
Oh yeah. No, if you were looking for something not scattered, today's not the
right day. So sorry. It's
so in the moment where she's looking at this,
dude, Judith. Oh my God, Judith Warner. We've got issues. God, what a memory.
I had no doubts that you were right, actually.
So yeah, go get that book.
I just want to say, I see that there are people watching who aren't necessarily members of Stick'em, so they're not able to do the chat. Get the membership so that you can
talk to us.
Right, because that's where the fun is. Yeah.
Argue with us and bring up your own stuff.
Right, that's where the fun is.
I know they don't have to join the chat, but you know.
But we like it.
We like it. Yes, that's fine. Then just use a text name.
Yeah, whatever it is, but yeah.
Yeah, so that we could talk.
Yes.
Unless, of course, you're going to be rude, and then Cougar Mom will kick you up. That's just the way it is.
Okay,
I need
so
coffee.
they don't need to join Stick'em. They just need to get a text name, whatever it is. Make it so that you can chat with us.
Somebody give Cougar Mom a cup of coffee.
Yeah, really. I'm the same way. I always try to be good and get people to chat with us. That's all. That's it.
Talk to me.
Talk to me.
Hello. Okay. So, yeah, it's just in the last few weeks we haven't had a lot of people chatting with us, which is weird. Because everybody's getting jobs and or going off and doing things. What's that about?
Yeah, right. That
Why aren't you here watching us?
Yes.
And, you know, I feel the tension.
We're
having problems already. So, anyway, so this is a complete makeover. This is like, you know, going down to the brass tacks. So, of course, what is the basis of any relationship?
That
You say sex?
Sex.
No.
Communication.
Communication.
That's the big one.
That is like the major one, and we talk about it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Because it is so incredibly important, and so few people know how to do it.
Yeah. I mean, everybody who talks about relationship always starts with, communication is the basis. You can get that in a fortune cookie.
Sure.
So everybody knows it. But we're big proponents of there's a bit more than just communication.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what you're communicating and how you're communicating.
Exactly. I mean, it's all nice and good if you sit there and you just vomit everything to your partner. I mean, it's like telling your kids, oh, mommy's a little stressed right now because daddy rejected her last night, and you don't have to tell her or him or them what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to say everything to them. I mean, you could have just stopped with, mommy's a little stressed today. It's the vomiting. It's like you have the people. I love listening to these parents because we have. I don't want to sound overly critical, but yeah, look at them. Some parents out there just don't get it, and they have a certain amount of arrogance to the way they parent, specifically in the I am dedicating my life to this kid or these kids, and I'm doing everything possible, and I'm, we're raising them in a democratic household, and they're it's almost like a Montessori. Yeah, it's almost like a Montessori type of home, that. Little Dallas wants to explore the garden today, so I let her get. She went into the mud and started eating dirt, and it was just so incredible. The way, come on,
Greetings from San Francisco.
Hey, I know. I know you. Why do I know you? Hello, Marla. How are you? I'm like, I know that name. So anyway, so it's that, that's too much communication.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about effective communication.
Yeah,
I'm talking about...
Okay, if you are a therapist athlete, or if you've been in like group therapy kind of stuff, or even if you've looked at the...
Because I said so.
Because I said so,
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
Or if you've even been on like relationship bulletin boards and that kind of stuff. One of the first clues that I can get when knowing that it's not effective communication is when there's a 5-minute story in front of it.
Right.
When they start in with the basically the drama conversation, well, let me tell you the story. I was doing this, and then there was this, I went to the store, and then I decided that I'm going to have a coffee, so I went to the coffee. Now, the line was really long, and they start going on and on and on. You've lost effective communication.
Right.
And with that, I'll go get some more coffee.
Yeah. That's a long time to say that. No. And that's what we do in relationship. It's like, let's talk, about specifically your spouse, your lover, your significant other. We tell stories, and we don't communicate. It's like, there's no need to get into the story unless it's something that you're processing, and even then, it's only the salient parts of the story. But we miss that because we get so involved in the victim part of the story. Okay. Here we go. For example, it's like today I took Ricky to school. So what do I tell Paul? Do I tell Paul that I took him to school? In the car he seemed kind of down. I don't go through all that because this is not the significant part. I could say, you know what, dropped him off, he was cool. He didn't cry today. I could tell him the positive parts. I could say, he had a show and tell today, so he had to bring in something with letter B. He brought in a football. Brought it to the teacher. He was really cute. Blah blah blah. And do I have to tell him that when I walked away, and every time I walk away and I leave him in the classroom, that I get that like almost a tug feeling in my solar plexus? I don't have to tell him that. That is my victim talk. I'm leaving my baby. Now, if my mother were telling the story, I'll tell you what my mother would say. My mother would be like, oh, and then my heart was aching as I took him up the stairs, and I brought him to the room, and I gave him a kiss, and I love you. This is how my mother tells the story. She's always of course, she's always, the heroine, and she's also the center of the story, and it's always about her. Now, granted, yes, your story is always about you, but it's what are you communicating? Are you communicating that, and it was so painful? Because what you're communicating there is now you get to do this to me. Poor me, because I felt crappy. That's not effective communication. That's also not painting yourself in a very. It's like you're making yourself the star of your own movie, but you're you're kind of like the Jamie Lee Curtis of your own movie.
Right.
It's a Halloween kind of thing. You're gonna scream a lot and be chased around a lot. Yeah. It's either that or you want to be the Sigourney Weaver of your movie. I'd rather be the Sigourney Weaver of my movie.
Well, see, that's the thing. We're not really
now, granted, I am totally dating myself. I can't think of anything recent with that.
We're not necessarily saying that what you're talking about is bad. We're actually saying that you need to be aware of what you're talking about. Because sometimes I do I'm feeling needy. Okay? And I communicate that. And that is okay. There are some times that you want to be, taken care of. So you make that communication. But the idea is knowing that you're communicating it.
Right.
That's where it becomes important.
Because the other way is manipulative communication.
Right.
Because you tell the story because you want to elicit a feeling so that you elicit the appropriate reaction. Instead of being proactive and saying things like, I need you to take care of me right now. I need you to hold me right now. I'm feeling kind of shitty because I left my kid at school.
Right.
Or, I left our kid at school. And I'm feeling sad about that. Now, when you ask for it, then you're not doing... You're welcome. I like calling people on their shit. If you have to, when you ask, then you empower yourself. You're not coming from the victim.
Right.
Even if you're asking for people to hold you and take care of you,
that's not a victim.
That's not a victim because you are asking for it. You're being proactive. You are the master of receiving what you need. If you're in a relationship and you're in a good relationship, then your partner's going to say that, okay, great, this is what you need, and I want to give you what you need. Because I love you and this is why I will do it. Right. But to coerce them through a story, that's bad.
A matter of fact, with the work relationships, work communication, right, it's even more important because the other end of the communication might not care as much.
Right, there's no affection.
Right, spouse and lover is going to...
And it's actually, they're going to create more resentment for you because there is no affection for you. So it's going to be like this, oh, I've been working so hard and gosh,
get another job then.
Yeah. No, it's like, gosh, I'm doing this all by myself and blah, blah, blah. And that's the communication that most coworkers give each other.
Right.
That's the bullshit that we give each other so that you're not really asking for help. Therefore, you don't seem, it's like we think that asking for help means that you're needy. We think that asking for help means that you aren't enough. Whereas we know that asking for help is actually a place of power. We know that asking for help is what intelligent people do. So then we give them the sad story. These people resentfully help us out, and then turn around and stab us in the back because we're weaklings, right? Whereas it's different to say, you know what, I need your help because I'm overwhelmed right now. Can I get that from you? that is speaking from power.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's when you think of it in not just in everyday relationships. When you think about it in your marriage or in with your significant other, how powerful that is. You know, I need you right now. You know, we hardly ever say that to each other.
Right.
Because for some reason, we've decided that showing any sign of weakness, which means, you know, need.
Need, right.
We've equated weakness with need.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, you know, if you need a drug, then you're weak.
Yeah.
If you need a person, then you're weak. Why have a relationship at all?
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, I find it really, you know, it's like, it's interesting to me because I don't see, you know, since I can't see us from outside, I don't know how it is that we interact.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You know, it's funny that way. But I don't watch our own show. But when people see us, even just for a little while, what they see, they always say the same thing. God, you guys are really cool together. I don't know. I mean, I assume that we are because I'm cool with him and he seems to be cool with me.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference, I guess, between us and other couples is that we actually say things like that to each other. I need you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm feeling, you know, Paul actually says this to me and I usually laugh at him because I'm feeling pissy today. Now, I can't tell when he's pissy because his pissy is on such a low frequency to my bitchiness that I don't even pick it up. So what he's considering pissy for me would be like, you know, I'm having a really good day. I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? So he'll say things like, "I'm being pissy today." Okay,
no, I'm just looking. Okay, Marla is having all kinds of aha moments and enlightenments and all that kind of stuff. What's going on?
Jeez, and she's not even explaining. And we'll need to tell my roommate to watch this show. She's a queen manipulator. Absolutely, she had a major aha moment. Thank you guys. Love you guys.
Yes, I want to know what these enlightenments are. What just happened? All that while we were talking. And we're just spouting our normal stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Anyhow, keep going. She can talk.
I think I do talk too much. Anyway,
at the bottom line.
Anyway, so the point is that we do tell each other things like, "I need you," or "I need you to be aware of the fact that I'm feeling pissy today."
Right.
You know, and then that gives me the opportunity to say, "Okay, is there anything you need from me?" Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, this is what that partnership is. You know, this is where this is like, it seems like it's such a simple communication, but when you compare it to the crap that other people talk to each other about, it is such a profound communication.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know, I think that one of the things that works the best in creating, working relationships is being really genuine.
Yes. I agree.
What I found, like when we got back from Blogger, where were we most successful? Mm-hmm. Where were we most successful in creating contacts? It was when we didn't give a shit. I mean, when we weren't so preoccupied with the message that was coming across, and just being genuinely us. Because let's face it, at the end of everything, we are the brand that we're marketing. We are the platform that we're marketing.
You're right.
And this speaks completely to what we're talking about today. Is that genuineness? I have nothing to lose. This is, and everything to gain by being genuine, by being honest and open. That's when we made the deepest and the best contacts. So
now, see, okay, because you just labeled yourself as possibly an oversharer. Now, there's a process to this, because obviously Lee and I have been doing this for quite a while with the analyzing what it is that we say and where we're coming from and that kind of stuff. So we are big sharers. Obviously, we sit here on the show and we tell about our kids and our feelings and our sex life and everything else. So and
Really?
yeah, sometimes Naked Friday, come on. So obviously we do share a lot, but we've already kind of been through a process of analyzing what we're sharing and what the purpose is.
Right.
So when we're talking about being genuine, we go in and our genuine self just tells all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, whatever's on the mind. But again, it's all about what is the purpose of what you're sharing. Why is it that you are exactly? Yeah.
Right.
So what is the purpose?
What are you trying to create?
Mm-hmm.
What are you creating at that time? I mean, to share a little story from Blogger, we were at a booth, we're filling something out for some Rapley thing. By then we were exhausted.
Completely fried.
We were fried, hungover, fried, exhausted, whatever.
Yeah.
And we're filling this out.
I had the whole quan on that one.
We're filling these things out. We're both filling one out, and it's complicated. I'm like, why the
They were
hell?
asking us like 6 questions, and
I really just like
didn't get it.
What do you prefer? And they're like comparing, kiwi fruit to this. I mean, not really. That wasn't like that, but it was just, and not that it wasn't just the same simple crap of what's your address, what's your email.
Right.
That you could do in your sleep. But they're talking, the people behind the booth are talking to us and asking us questions. And because we're so involved in what we're writing, we hadn't engaged our filter, our persona filter. And because we didn't engage it, the answers were coming out very raw, and the answers were coming out funny, apparently. And the woman asked me a question that, well, what do you think of a mother who dresses up her daughter provocatively? Like with tight, apple bottom jeans or something like that, and whatever. And without looking up, I just said, well, I think that she should probably get her a pole so she could practice her stripping. Paul said something funny.
Yeah, I think something about pimping.
Yeah, or it's like get her.
About it.
So he said something about pimping. The woman's laughing hysterically. Well, come to find out that at the end of all this, the woman that we're talking to is Shannon Ives from CBS Early Morning. We didn't know. We didn't know. We didn't care, because even though she probably told us her name and what she did, it didn't register.
Not even a little bit.
The point being that we let go of that need to filter through the persona, through this brand, that we're talking about, and just shared genuine feelings with her. This is who we are. This is how we are. Mm-hmm. And by doing that, we created an actual connection with somebody. And that was probably one of the most profitable connections we created.
Right.
No need to storyboard. No need to, get her to like us.
Mm-hmm.
It was either she's going to like us or she's not.
Right.
I don't really care. I like me.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I'm fine with me. And me needed a nap at that moment.
Exactly.
See,
when we're talking about the purpose of the communication. Usually when we're going into any of the businessy kind of things, the purpose of the communication is like us.
Yeah.
Like us, give us something, give us money, whatever, but it's right. That's good. It's not always necessary.
Right. Obviously, if you have the meeting, if you're having a meeting, there's already a certain amount of liking.
Yeah, right.
But I think that what seals the deal is genuine connection.
Right.
Especially now with, it's like, okay, we all have our websites and we have our numbers, and somebody's numbers are better than others. But to create a relationship, a business relationship, you create a connection. And because there's a certain amount of trust. If they're going to be giving you money, they have to trust that you're going to be able to deliver. And that trust only comes from connection.
Right.
So when we talk about creating relationship, when we are communicating, you are telling them the salient facts, and you're only speaking from the I, and you're only speaking from your needs or your experiences, without making you the victim of the story. Making sure that you cut all that crap out of your stories, because there's no need in that. Even when you are the victim of your story, even when you're totally screwed, that's the most beautiful part. When you tell stories where you've been totally screwed and you're still coming out the empowered one, that's when you know you created something incredible. That's when you know that you're doing something better in your life.
Even if part of the story is you actually saying the words, "This is the part where you pity me."
Yes.
I have done stories like that.
Right.
So that everybody knows you can pity me now. Go ahead. No? Okay, we're done. Now, do you want to talk about being a good listener?
Well,
because Marla brought up, working on listening and engaging.
Well, I think that's, as a therapist who likes to talk, I had issues. So, being a good listener also involves, parts of you that hardly ever get developed.
Yeah, first thing, let's not even call it being a good listener.
No.
Because if we're talking effective communication, then you want to be an effective listener.
You're listening for the music behind the words.
Mm-hmm.
You are never really listening to the words. You're listening to the music behind the words.
And you're also making sure that your filters and your music aren't playing with theirs.
You have to turn down your tune.
Right.
So when we're listening to our spouses, and I'm going to just go spouses because obviously,
that's the safest way.
That's the safest way to do it. Usually the music that's playing in our head when our spouse is talking to us about his or her feelings is the music is saying something like, "Please don't leave me.
Mm-hmm.
Please love me.
Right. I don't want to lose everything.
I don't want to lose everything. I don't want to lose you."
Right.
And that song is really loud
mm-hmm.
when we're listening to our loved ones. And it really, honestly, if you think of it, it's pretty much the only thing playing in your head when you're talking to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking to your kids, when you're talking to your friends.
But it's a big one.
But it's a big one with your spouse or your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. When we're listening through our music to their music, the words get lost.
Right.
And
if I walk up to her and I do I'm not happy right now. Okay. Through that filter. Now, this could be, a bank account's not the amount that I want.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up, and stubbed my toe, whatever it is, that made me unhappy, and maybe I'm not even identifying the emotion properly because I'm a guy and I do that all the time.
And you can't match colors either.
And I can't match colors, But that's it. What I said just hit her. Her music.
Straight into my chest.
Right.
It was like all of a sudden, he's leaving me.
And our conversation has just taken a turn that.
Right. Because there's no way I'm going to easily recover from that. Because all I'm going to hear from then on is that everything he's going to say is going to be about how I'm not enough for him and he's going to leave me. So, to be an effective listener, you need to turn down your music. You need to turn on that little voice that keeps talking in your head. You need to turn down your own issues and really listen to it. So which
it helps if you know what your own issues are.
Yeah, always
it makes it easier to turn down.
So this is great that Marla, you've been working on yourself enough to know, that you need to shut them out, listen more, listen for what people want.
Right.
It's like, what is the music saying? The music is saying, I'm not happy. Okay, so what does I'm not happy mean? Get clarification. You see, that's one of the things that always drives me nuts about people, and when I would see couples, that they never clarify. They just assume.
Yeah.
They just assume everything. So, the question would actually, the immediate question would be, well, what aren't you happy about? And Why do you do that? Well, because I want to know. Because if not, I'm going to have to turn my music back on.
Right.
Because it's going to be about me. You know, get clarification before you jump to the next conclusion. It's like, don't jump before you know. So it's like, what are you not happy about? Don't offer a million reasons to not be happy, because then you're just going to compound his not happiness. So you say, what are you not happy about? And then he'll give the answer. Give me an answer.
Let's see. We don't have enough money.
Okay. So we don't have enough money. Now, this would be a part where, you know, most of us, and, you know, it's like if you care for your significant other, you're going to want to try to fix it.
Yeah.
Okay? This is the easy part. This is, you know, what we consider like, oh, this is the slam dunk. Oh, no, we got money. We got money here, here, here.
Right.
It doesn't,
get a job.
yeah, it doesn't matter what you're going to say right now. Okay? This is someone who's feeling sad because they don't feel they have enough money.
Right.
Okay?
And we have to remember a little side note, money usually equates to something else.
Yeah. Money is always about self-worth.
Right.
It's
I
not
haven't done, that communication is, I haven't done enough in my life.
Right.
You know?
I am not enough.
I am not enough.
Right.
You know? So that becomes...
So then what your job then is, as the active listener, as the effective listener, is like, what do you need from me? Okay? And usually it's going to be something very innocuous, like, oh, I just need you to hug me. Or I just want you to hold me. Yeah, just hold my hand for a little while.
Or I feel better saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're already done because you listened.
Yeah. You know, in our case, you know, when we're communicating, and granted, we've been married for 21 years. It's not like, you know, and we've been married for 21 years. We've been working our own shit for 20 of those 21 years.
Right. Yes.
I mean, okay, I mean...
This has become, this is and always has been a part of our marriage.
Right. So, when I say the way we talk, we're not normal, and we know that.
Right.
So,
and that's why
this is where we get off doing this.
Right, this is practice. I mean, we have been practicing this for a very, very long time. So there is a progression to it.
Right. And there's also, and we don't see us doing it anymore.
No. Right.
That's the whole thing of me not noticing that we actually work well together.
Right.
I don't really notice that. So we'll get into the conversation. You know, if I notice, you know, it's like, okay, you're feeling sad. So sadness usually requires touch. It requires, you know, some hugging, some, you know, being together. And then there's going to be, you know, a little bit of excavating to be done to find out, okay, that, you know, I don't feel like I've been enough for the family. I haven't done enough for the family. Then you get to that root thing, and then I'm like, okay, cool. So this is where I get to come in and fix it. This is where I get to come in and say the nice things. You know, because I've already heard, okay, now we've gotten to the root thing. Now this is what I fix. I could, you know, yes, I could say, yes, we have a lot of money, but that wasn't going to fix the fact that he was sad because he didn't feel like he was enough.
I mean, actually, you look at it, and if you look at it very rationally at that point, knowing that those are the feelings, actually that would be worse. If I said that I am sad because we don't have enough money, and my underlying emotion is that it's a self-worth, that I am not, that I haven't done enough in my life, and I am, you know, worthless, basically. If she comes in and turns around and goes, oh, don't worry about it, I'll go get a job, goes out and gets a job and fixes it, now we have all kinds of money, and I'm really worthless. Okay, so no,
I fixed it.
Right, she didn't fix anything on that one.
Right. I mean, so it's like, it's getting to the bottom of it. It's listening for that core bottom issue. You know, it's never about money. It's never about the kids. It's never about the family. It's always about that person.
Right.
And, you know, because, yeah, you know, oh, my kids aren't behaving isn't a reason to feel, you know, okay, you feel stressed. You have a headache. Big deal. The real feelings come from how you feel about yourself because your kids aren't behaving.
Right.
So once we get into, I mean, this is where I'm talking foundational get into communication. You know, this is deep crap here that we have to get into. You know, so that you create really healthy relationships, being able to communicate from that level. You know, because it always has to do with you. You're always the bottom line of the story. So, you know, it's like, okay, so I'm telling you not to tell the story from the victim perspective, and I'm telling the listener to listen to the story and get to the bottom of how they feel about themselves because of that story. Okay? So then if you figure out that if I'm telling the story and all I'm talking about is how screwed I got, then the listener is only going to hear victim and can never get to the real feeling that you have about yourself.
Right.
Because if your real feeling about yourself is that you're a big old victim, then obviously you've got a major problem.
Yes.
Okay? And that your partner is never going to be able to reach you because you're swimming in your own crap.
Right. Your partner will always victimize you.
Right. It's like, who are you?
Right, because that is the only thing you're allowing.
Pretty deep, huh?
Hey.
And this is why you watch Relationship Rehab
right.
on Lingo Media, for the deep stuff.
And I thought I was going to sleep through this one.
You know, I find it interesting. I would love to see and hear the reactions of people when they hear these things because...
She needs a drink now.
You know, I think it's just... Yeah, this is the kind of... And this is really funny, but these are the kind of conversations we have. And...
It's true.
And, you know, when people are like, oh my God, you guys actually talk like that. It's like, yeah, we do.
Mm.
But we're also funny about it. I mean, obviously we know. Oh, yeah. Me neither.
Oh, me either.
Yeah.
Don't even get
Okay,
me
no, we're going to be there in
right
October, and if you blow us off, I swear to holy Christ,
Oh,
I'm
no.
going to stalk your ass.
You are like one of two reasons we're going, so...
One of two. We only have two reasons why we're moving 3,000 miles. Yes, no, we're going to be in...
for October.
Oh, yeah,
It's
no,
like
that's
one
true.
of two reasons.
That's true. Yeah, in October we're only going for one of two reasons. One is to check out university. Okay, what dates Blog World and Digital Hollywood are in October? What's Blog? You mean Blog? You mean Expo? You mean Las Vegas?
But the...
Is that what you mean by Blog World?
Which one's Blog World? I just saw something about that one.
Right now, I don't want...
Okay,
no,
what dates?
but... Well, no. We're... Okay, Blog World is where?
Yeah. I'm all confused with Vegas.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. No.
Vegas.
We're going to that too.
Yes.
That's when we're going.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going...
Actually, the Blog World Expo is only on the 15th and 16th. You're throwing in the 14th because you want an extra day, Marlon.
Yeah.
Don't lie. Yeah, no, we're going to go to Vegas too.
Right.
And we wanted to... Yeah, I want to go to panels. You know why? People like who go on panels. I'm only fucking.
You hate Vegas?
We love Vegas. We don't gamble, but we love Vegas. We just love the debauchery. We love the debauchery. That's the thing. If you're really into watching people, Vegas is a wonderful place to go to.
Yeah.
Paul and I will sit somewhere where we can like gamble just a little bit and just watch people and just be together. And we just adore that. That is just, you know, because I like smoking and drinking. That's my favorite thing to do. I know. This is my thing.
I see you feeling serene in a rocker and good.
You know, you need to move to Florida. That's what I do here. Yeah, I can't do that.
That's right.
Okay. No wine country?
No wine country.
Not true. We have wine countries here in Florida. In fact, south of us, in Homestead, there's Schnebley's. You gotta look that guy up.
Yeah, there's no grape in their wine, mind you.
No, there's no grape. They use different fruit wines.
Right.
And then up near St. Augustine, there's another winery.
Yeah.
How they grow grapes here, I have no clue.
Yes.
Being California kids, yeah, no. I won't drink a Schnebley's if you put a gun to my head. Unless they want to sponsor us. And then, of course, we love the Schnebley's. Because that's the kind of horse we are. We are thinking of moving.
Hang over lines, exactly.
We're thinking of moving to like the Running Springs, Big Bear area.
Yeah.
Um,
We are done with the flatlands
Yes.
down here. Our
We
place is
are-
a mountain.
we are, originally from like the Torrance, Redondo Beach area. You're thinking of renting your house where? Oh, Sherman Oaks. Oh no.
No, sorry.
Valley.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, no,
Francisco.
we're beach kids from Torrance and Redondo Beach.
Mm-hmm.
So born and raised there, and moving back, and we'd like to go into. No, honey, Sherman Oaks. No.
Hot tub.
Hot tub.
Yeah.
Like the hot tub and everything,
That's
but
nice.
it's Sherman Oaks.
Yeah.
You have to go over the hill. No,
Yeah.
that can never happen.
Trying to get away from the hot of anything.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Paul used to go to school in Northridge.
Yeah. That's.
Paul went to Cal State Northridge. Yeah, not gonna happen.
Yeah.
No, we're looking at mountains. We're looking at the mountains area.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mom.
Okay,
Sherman
so we
Oaks
got
was
like 4 minutes.
Yeah, it was definitely never on the list.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. We had a friend who lived there who actually moved up to Sacramento. So,
Do we know what we're talking about next week?
I'd like to talk about attachment and education next week.
Attachment and education next week.
I think that
that's a good
attachment theory is such a there's a lot of stuff going on. Like if you go to websites now, it's all about attachment parenting. And in psychology, for the past 30 years, there's been a big push for what we call attachment psychology, and the importance of attachment. And
Hang on 1 second. Marla, what time is your show? And
Yes.
what day? Go ahead. Keep talking.
it's Sundays at what was it? Sundays at Sundays at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time.
Right.
Go watch Life Without Kids with Marla.
Like after kids.
Life After Kids. Life Without Kids. Life After Kids with Marla. And say hello from us.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
very important.
attachment.
Anyway,
A lot of theory there.
there's a lot of theory there because Derek was saying yes to serendipity. Neat.
You're both saying yes to serendipity.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I get you. Intention, creating your life, love it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so attachment, very
Yeah.
important stuff. We're going to be we're writing about it all next week. It's such a profound body of work. There's a big move now called attachment parenting that is great and good and all that stuff because it's supposed to be not judgmental. You know, so I said that. No. I think there's certain parts of it that are really beautiful and really important. However, as you'll see when I write about it next week, which I already have written it, so I already know what I'm saying.
I believe in detachment parenting, so you'll find that part about me next week.
Anyway, I think that one of the problems that all these theories have is that they don't really clue into fanaticism and the need for people to be fanatics. There's that kind of attachment too, and there are people who are fanatics, and those are the people who get overly attached to a concept, and there are people who are detached, and those are the people that can see the thing for what it is, but they're not going to be joiners. In other words, like this one. And for all the times that people with attachment parenting say, this is just a suggestion. This shouldn't necessarily rule you, and you have to do what works for you. You're going to find 10 million assholes saying that you have to do it like that.
So that's what we're talking about next week.
Really, the 10 million assholes is what we're going to talk about.
And let's see. So this is Relationship Rehab. We're Lee and Paul, and we are on Fridays at noon for people watching this as a
Noon Eastern time.
Right.
Right. On Mingle Media TV.
Love you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, Marla. Bye, Cougar Mama.